I'm very excited to have Jim back on the show because Jim, it's always a pleasure talking to you, but also to meet Jason Walter, who's, for those of you that might not know, the number one realtor ranking on YouTube in the country. But a lot of it is because Jason, you have this huge audience of actual buyers and industry followers. I think there's some good synergy between us. I also, as I mentioned offline, have just started a YouTube channel, and so I'm looking for a little advice on that. But maybe we could
Yeah.
start with your background. You started the channel just before COVID. You've grown it to six figures of followers. Can you tell the audience a little bit about this journey that you've been on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you being on the podcast here, Robbie. So thank you for having us. Yeah, so I started my journey on YouTube back in October 2019, and I wanted to start a channel back in January, but it took me 10 months to summon the courage to actually post my first video. I'm more of like an introverted person. Before that, I didn't even post a video myself. So I had to kind of figure out, how do I edit a video? How do I even make a video? How I post that on YouTube? And so what I found is there's a lot of people who are making videos, blog posts about what's like to live in Sacramento area, which is where I live and work as a real estate agent. But I'm also a licensed loan officer as well. So people making these comments and videos and blogs regarding what it's like to live here when they didn't actually live here. And so I lived in Sacramento for 40 plus years. So I thought it'd be valuable for people who may want to move into my area to kind of learn about what it's like to live here from someone who actually has been living here for decades. So I made two videos every single week ever since October 2019. And then, of course, we all know what happened back in March 2020. We had COVID lockdowns. I wasn't even able to leave my house to talk about Sacramento related content. And then I saw a lot of people were making videos about how the housing market was going to crash because of all the COVID related issues we were having. And I took more of like a data approach, looking at the data and what that was telling us. And back then, inventory was very low compared to 2016 through 2019. And of course, because rates dropped significantly back then, inventory absolutely plummeted. So I make videos regarding how the housing market was not going to crash, and then just making videos in regards to the housing market. And a lot of people were going online to figure out what was going on because of all the uncertainty we had back then. I mean, just absolutely crazy back then. So the people that were watching my videos also were looking at my older videos back in 2019 who for the people who want to maybe move here. So long story short, people watch my videos. Most of the time they watch multiple videos. And I'm just acting like myself on camera. And so when people reach out, it's not like, hey, you're one of the agents, one of the 10 agents I'm interviewing. You're the agent I want to hire. Are you accepting clients right now? And so people who reach out already feel like they know, like, and trust me even before I get the text message, email, or phone call, which is absolutely mind blowing. And so this is kind of transitioned more to like housing market news channel. It's probably the best way to describe this, all things related to the housing market and real estate in the United States. And the audience is not just now people looking to move here. It's basically on a worldwide audience, but about 93% of our audience is in the United States and around 30% in California. So now it's more like a general housing market news channel talking about all things related to the housing market. And because of that, views and other revenue sources have grown from that as well.
I think the thing that strikes me most is your authentic approach to this and to building this. And there's a lot of loan officers out there, originators in general, that they say, I need to be on social media, I need to make content, I need to. What am I going to do? Can you speak a little bit about finding your own voice and being authentic to yourself and having people respond positively to that type of content versus something that's forced, and kind of how people can figure out their own lane for what's best for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think my like content's kind of like tailored to people who are more analytical, which I happen to be analytical. I love sharing like my analytics regarding what's happening in the market. And so the people who reach out tend to be people in tech, for example. They tend to be kind of like nerdy like myself. So just acting like yourself, because if you're acting like someone else and then people reach out, they find out that you're not being authentic, then you're losing trust. And so I always tell people that through video is the best way, in my opinion, unless you're face to face, the best way to build rapport and trust with someone. and that's through video, in my opinion. And so people watching my videos, they watch, my 20-minute video, they might watch, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And in one single video, they might get an idea about who I am. But watching multiple videos, which I'm not sharing, I haven't done any advertising whatsoever. I haven't paid for ads since 2019. Never paid for ads for my YouTube channel. So people reach out to me. Again, they feel like they know, like, and trust me already, which is absolutely mind blowing. So anyone who's looking to start a channel, the thing that kind of made me kind of start was that if this person can do it, then I can do it as well. And I can barely talk. And but people seem to like the content because I'm sharing as best as I can unbiased related reports regarding the housing market, which I found the media in general can be a little bit biased on that. So I think people appreciate the transparency and honesty regarding what's happening right now.
It's amazing that you're not having to pay for lead gen. I'm sure that's music to some listeners' ears. Hey, how can
Zero.
I do
Yeah.
that? When it comes to adding value to consumers, and I do want to get into this new reality at post-NAR settlement and how we can add value as professionals here. But when it comes to adding value to consumers without paying for lead generation, what sort of things have you found to be the most valuable in telling your audience that people have really responded to?
That's a really good question. I think that just I just I share I try to give my own take regarding like a report. So for example, if Redfin announces a report or the National Association of Realtors announces a report, I kind of take a deep dive into the numbers to share my own take regarding what's happening versus, I actually try to go to the source of the data rather than sharing a news article about that report, if that makes sense. So I try to be authentic, sharing my own analysis of the what's happening. And so people kind of seem to get some value out of that. And that's a whole point of the channel. I'm not making videos based on what I think I like. I'm trying to make videos regarding what my viewers want to want to watch. And it's generated a great business for us.
So, Jim, I do want to bring you in here since people are looking at you sitting in your office there. And I want to talk about the future of kind of these partnerships together. But when it comes, just historically speaking, before we get into what's happening post-NAR settlement, working together as a lender and a realtor, what are some of your tips that you picked up in your time as a lender? You have a very successful origination business. How do you add value? How do you build loyalty? How do you keep those partnerships strong?
Yeah, great question. More than ever right now, Robbie, we got to be well in front of that life event before it happens. So before, realtors would run around with a listing agreement, trying to get it signed and then react and get the lender involved. Well, we're kind of flipping the script on how we do that at our company. Jason and I both are at the same company, Revest Homes. And the goal we have is to get as far in front of that family making those decisions before they make it. We believe that's by providing value through knowledge, through information, and also just giving tips that are helpful. And it's less about trying to get someone to buy a house today, to refinance today. It's about making sure that they're set up for the future. And then when they're ready and when the opportunity is there, we're the natural fit for them. They're going to Jason, they're going to Jim, they're going to teams like ours that have already built that rapport. And again, that video element has become more and more important, just like we're doing now. In your history, Robbie, I love with your whole family and legacy in this industry, it started as data-driven articles and emails, and it's now morphed into video and podcast, right? So you're doing the exact same thing in your whole career also. So to me, it's just getting as in front of that opportunity as we can to make sure people are making good decisions. And sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes you're not ready. Or no, it's not a good time to buy. And that goes so much farther being genuine and authentic than just trying to get something done. So I think that you can see through Jason's channel. Even one of his videos got 401,000 views on it. How many hours, Jason, have you had of people watching your videos? How many? This is crazy, Robbie.
Yeah, this is wild. So you make a really good point too. I want to touch on as well is that we're getting the viewers for people who are just starting their search, whether they want to buy a house, get a loan, refinance, or potentially move to Sacramento or other areas as well. So kind of like if you think of a funnel, we're kind of the top end here. People are doing the research and then they reach out when they're ready, which is super important regarding content on YouTube. So I actually did some digging on numbers for you guys. So the channel, which again, I started back in October 2019. I have 28 million views on the channel. Again, no advertising whatsoever, all 100% organic. On top of that, here's the wild thing, 2.3 million watch hours. This means that people have consumed 138 million minutes. These are 138 million minutes of people watching my videos. That equates, get this, 263 years if one person theoretically was watching my videos 24/7, 7 days a week, 263 years, or 1,000 people watching my videos 24/7 for 3 months straight. So YouTube, you have obviously a wide reach, but also engagement as well. It'd be impossible for me to speak to someone for 263 years, right? So the engagement and reach on YouTube is just absolutely mind-blowing, and highly recommend it for any loan officers or agents out there right now.
Actually, and it's having both pieces, right? You got to have the knowledge, but you also have the expertise. Jason and I both have multiple licenses. I'm my Series 55, 65. Jason's a CPA by trade. So we have these extra layers of knowledge that give us a little more insight to be providing value that's not biased, it's neutral, right? You got to be in the middle on this stuff to make people see both sides of the data to make sure they're making their own decision. So,
yep.
And Jason, those are crazy statistics. I know it's from some of the other interviews I've done. It seems like YouTube really is the best medium for people to put content out there because it lives there, and there's a repository of it, and people can go back and get whatever that viewers can go back through months and months or years and years of content. So it's a great place to be. Jim, you mentioned that oh, sorry, Jason, you want to say something quickly?
No, sorry. I just absolutely I agree with you. Thanks, Robbie.
Cool, man. Jim, you mentioned you guys hold multiple licenses, both you and Jason. I didn't know you were a CPA, but I do want to talk about this new trend emerging of dual licensing. You yourself are a realtor and an originator, and I'm going to kind of press you here because Jim was the one who gave me such kind words about my family and what I'm doing. You can give me any kind words yet, so we're going to press you here. What are the pros of dual licensing from a buyer's perspective, or maybe from the industry perspective? What are the cons of it? What are the benefits of keeping those separate? Like, yeah, what is give us both sides of the coin here. Where's it better? Where's it not better?
I can
go ahead, Jim. Start on it.
Yeah, I can share. So we own our company. Our company's a DRE California licensed company. We have our real estate and lending licenses all in-house, all under one ownership, all under one company. The benefit there is that if you have experts, like I love doing loans and Jason loves real estate, you're getting the best of, in my opinion, best service that's available in the marketplace. So smart companies, smart teams will develop a plan like this to be able to lever off of both. And guess what else we can do? We could give discounts if we wanted to. For first responders in our community, we could do a first-time home buyer credit. As long as it's all consistent and the same for everybody, we can offer those between Jason and I. We can, toggle our elements to make sure that it creates the value that's needed to get the deal done. Like, I'll support Jason as an owner of the mortgage company and offering a lower cost option if I can to help him get a purchase contract. I'm sure the same thing will happen on his side with these new NAR changes. So I just like having the flexibility to shift and pivot. We have the things we need to have under one roof. That is going to be the model of the future, I think, for a lot of smaller communities across the country. So it will take, it's going to be a model that will become more popular, and we're way ahead of it. We've been working on this for 3 years, so it's really exciting to see things starting to take off.
Jason?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely 100% agree with Jim. Being a licensed loan officer and real estate agent, we can provide a lot of value to our clients for the things that Jim mentioned. And just also on a side note, in California, a loan officer has to be also a licensed real estate agent. So you have to get that kind of first, I think, before becoming an originator, which is, I know, different in other states as well. But yeah, being at Revest Homes and being with Jim Black, one of the top originators in the country, just absolutely. And then Jim and I have been great friends for over 35 years as well. So it was a best man at my wedding as well. So it's awesome to work with a friend and also with someone who has such a high level of expertise in their industry as well.
So I mentioned the phrase earlier, providing value, and I think that's kind of become more and more the name of the game, especially in an environment where there's so much transparency or there's more choice out there. People are trying to justify their value proposition. Jim, let's start with you, and then we'll go back to Jason again. How do you see the future of partnerships evolving and moving forward from here? It's obviously kind of early doors with the NAR settlement recently being implemented, and it feels like the Wild West a little bit. When it comes to these partnerships, how do you see it evolving over time going forward?
I look at my job as kind of like being a family. It's like a family office kind of world where you're going to have the online shoppers that want the lowest, right? That's not us. We don't want those people. But we believe that the focus is going to be around surrounding that client with the best resources in their community that they need. So a CPA, wealth advisor, estate planner, all those other insurance, all those people that are needed and a vital part of that family's home ownership journey, not only just for the transaction, but for the future. That's what I'm excited about. So we have technology partners. I have fintechs that I'm an advisor and an angel investor in that are giving us the opportunity to capture all that information and be available when we're needed. So we're not only providing relevant information that's relevant today, we're giving people the tools to have those in their ecosystem of what they need when they need it. So we're always thought of as that provider of those resources, not the one-stop shop for everything, but we're able to get those tools in front of people when they need them. And like I said last time on our show, Robbie, when you had me on, I look at myself as bat loan man. Like, I don't want to be annoying, sending out like pumpkin pie recipes in the mail. But when you need me, I want that symbol to go up in the air, and then we're ready to go. We have all the information we need, and we're off to the races. So I want to be valuable when I'm needed. I don't want to be in the way of people living their lives or partners of mine not wanting to get annoying phone calls. Just we're providing value. Come join our group and learn more and be part of it.
Jason?
Yeah, I would piggyback on that. Is that, with this NAR settlement, it's kind of a status quo for me. The procedures involved in, helping people on the real estate side have changed, but I'm going to be focusing still on doing YouTube. Going to be focusing a little bit more also on doing short form content as well, like on Instagram, even did a TikTok as well recently. But just providing value to everyday consumers. And people will reach out if they want to buy or sell a house or have any lending needs as well. So just status quo for me. Just going to be keeping posting videos on YouTube and other platforms as well. Just providing value, what I think that people would learn from and also benefit from as well.
Before I let you two go here today, we talked a couple takeaways that listeners can use going forward when it comes to enhancing these relationships. What are a couple big things you want people to really stick with? Jason, let's start with you this time.
Yeah, I have a big one. So I always tell people that if you're a real estate agent, get on YouTube because of that, viewability, reach factor, engagement. But loan officers have even a bigger benefit than agents, because as an agent, if I'm making videos about, let's just say like a national report that got released, a very, very, very small percentage of those people want to buy a house in the greater Sacramento area, right? But as loan officers, you may be licensed, but you're licensed at least in one state, but you also may be licensed in multiple states. So your reach and your ability to help a lot more people is so much greater than a real estate agent. So for any loan officers who are watching or listening to this podcast, just hit record, start, and then just start making videos about what people are asking you questions about, things that you maybe have expertise on. I would highly recommend you do that, because you're really missing out on opportunity, in my opinion, if you're not doing that. But it's been a wonderful platform for us, and it's really been working out. It's a lot of work, but again, paying no ads whatsoever for the past 5 years.
Jim, you brought Jason and me together, which I'm so grateful for. So I'm going to give you last word today. A couple takeaways for listeners.
Wow, thanks. I truly believe that the future is continue to add value, being consistent, and also sharing stories. A lot of families, people forget in the mortgage business, we think it's all numbers and cents. It's equally emotional as it is financial. So the more we can share stories to get to that dream of someone's goals, we're going to be better off. So I'm trying to do a better job telling more stories about my career, about successes we've had, even failures. That's kind of life. So if you can relate to people, they're going to choose you out of the crowd because they relate to you. They understand that you're a human being, and just being authentic. And again, not pushing people into one decision or the other. I always try to give a lot of options. There's a lot of great tools out there. We have a lot of them internally, but just creating value by giving people information to make good decisions. And that's life. And I've learned as much being the interviewing loan officer to clients as they are to learning about what program or strategy they should look at. So it's a two-way street, and passion is everything. Us three on this call have passion for this industry, and we're going to be in it for a while. So it's exciting to see the future, and I'm glad that we get to collaborate with guys like yourselves. So thank you for having us on.
Yes, very, very, very happy. This was great, guys. Jim, I look forward to having you back on the show whenever, as always. And Jason, I'm so glad that we got to meet today. And I think this is the start of a good relationship between us. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Robbie. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I really appreciate you having us on.
Thanks, Robbie.